I'm Joe Easton from Joe Easton Leather, and I'm going to show you how to make markings for your pattern cutting, for making leather clothing, and for how to cut it. Let's start with pencil. Some people use pencil. It leaves a mark, but the problem is it's black, and if you're using black leather, it does not show up. I can barely see that, and it fades out the rougher it gets. And that's difficult if your lighting is not really good in your room. What works better is the chalk, tailor's chalk, not the wax products, but the real chalk. The problem with tailor's chalk is that the pieces break. This was a much larger piece when I started, and now it's much smaller. And as you can see, it leaves a very clear mark. This comes off easily. The pencil, you cannot erase it from the leather totally without ruining the leather. The third thing I want to show you is a Sharpie. I'm using a gray Sharpie because this is black leather, and the black Sharpie does not show up on the black. It gives the clearest line, but the problem is after a few minutes you can no longer wipe it out with a little bit of spit. Water won't erase it, but a little bit of spit will break it down just enough when it's a fresh mark. Once it's set, it's set. And the problem with the chalk is water will bring it off, but that affects the leather and makes it stretch in weird ways, giving you a lettuce leaf effect. The pencil is marked on the leather, does not come out. It will rub off, especially on the colored leathers that are lighter in color than black. Okay, you got your 3 different colors. Now for your different cutting instruments. I prefer the rotary cutters because you can lay your leather flat on the board, cutting board, and you get a true measurement. Take the safety off and make a clean, firm press with the blade against the edge of the ruler, and it comes off quite clear. There is also an ergonomic model. Again, the safety is on. Take it off, expose the blade, make your cut, put your safety back on, and a clean cut. You can use your scissors to, after you put your pattern down with either the chalk or the Sharpie, but as you lift, you stretch the leather different ways, and it takes the leather to different dimensions than what you originally intended for. Now let's use the French curve, saying that, let's say you have a pattern where you have a curve. With the big blade, you line it up where you want it, and follow your curve around. And now you have a nice curve. You can do the same with the smaller blade, and it goes a little easier around the curves. Please note, you try to keep your blades going across or away from you. Try not to bring your blade back to you, because that is the way you can cut yourself. When you use the scissors, I'm going to put my favorite ones here. You lift, and it distorts the shape of the leather, and it is no longer the same shape as when it was laying down flat. And the other problem with scissors is that as you get to the end of where you've cut, and you're almost to the tip, and you lift up and you go into the V where the blades meet, you change slightly, and it's an irregularity in the cut, especially on curves. It shows up more on straight lines, than it does on curves. Now if I were to lay this back out, you see that I got a curve right there and another one here from lifting it up and changing the shape.